You have to take everything that Zack Snyder built and just tear it down. It's similar to a sports franchise. He had a team that was put together to make a championship run. Obviously, the Snyderverse did not make that, but now you have a bunch of old vets that you need to get rid of, and you need to tank. You need to get a high draft pick, and that's what DC's in
That's what
right
they're
now.
doing. They tanked.
They
The last few
we,
years, they kind of tanked aside from the Batman and
we
Joker.
gotta trade everybody. We gotta. They're hitting free agency. We let them go. We let them walk. We restart because any hint, like Henry Cavill, that's a Snyder guy. He always will be. Even if there was a solo movie with Andy Machete, he's a Snyder pick. Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, that's a Snyder pick.
Sure.
Jason Momoa, that's a Snyder pick. Like we got to get rid of these. Uh, like like every time we look at them, we think of Zack Snyder and the Snyderverse. We can't just have a whole new story with this playing them. We need a
This is like
fresh start.
Mitch Kupchak. Here comes Rob Pelinka. It's just like someone
Like
different. Like Ricky. Like I literally made a note because I was like, okay, I got to make some notes. Late last night, I was tweeting up a storm. Like we have to be responsive to these stories because, and I just felt a passion towards it too. I said something so different. It feels like everyone's on the chopping block right now. It feels like we're sub 500 going into the trade deadline for a program for a team that should be vying for the number one seed in the West, right? DC feels like the Lakers. I wrote somehow sub 500 and dumping all their players at the deadline, and then they're just removing the stink of the Snyderverse and they're starting clean. That's
yeah,
exactly what I wrote too. It's like
yes,
they were just like, these are hot commodities. These guys are movie stars in some way, right? Quentin Tarantino might say different, but they're not. They're not worth keeping. They're salary dumps.
exactly. And God, yeah, exactly. And I think that yes, you've mentioned about losing fans. All right, fine. Rock stands, Henry Cavill stands, Snyderverse fans, we lose them. But at the end of the day, going back to your Lakers analogy, they're still the Los Angeles Lakers. This is still DC. You'll
Right.
always have a lot, if not the most fans. You're not going to lose fans that you're that worried about. The only way you would lose them entirely is if you keep on going with this discombobulated universe that just goes into the ground forever. And that is what's at stake here if you didn't do a fresh start. And I think a fresh start is similar to what you just said and what I just said. Trade everybody, let everyone hit free agency. You're tanking, and then we hit the restart button.
James Gunn has balls, dude. Because this is something that no DC head or CEO had the gall to do, to break off officially from the Snyderverse, to start from scratch. All right, have a clear, cohesive type of concept for what this universe should look like, rather than just throw money at it, take it all in, make $1 billion, and just continue to make crap that people can feel confused about. He gets it. And that's why I think we're on the right track. And speaking of people on the chopping block, Gal Gadot, I don't know if anyone's had a worse last few years as a blockbuster actress. It's kind of nuts. When you go from Wonder Woman 1984, Death on the Nile, the Imagine video, it is catastrophic, like what these last couple of years have done to her career. And Patty Jenkins can go in the same category, like with Rogue Squadron canceled, right? And we have what she did taking creative control of Wonder Woman 1984. She was somehow tapped to direct Wonder Woman 3 after the catastrophe that was the sequel. I feel like these two just go hand in hand with I think Patty Jenkins is doing a Cleopatra movie, I think, with Gal Gadot as well. Like they've become like a dynamic duo of unwatchability. Just absolute trash between the both of them and the art that they've created in the blockbuster realm. It's almost like you can't repair it. I see it on Netflix is what I tweeted. See it on Netflix. A hard time going to see something greenlit for Patty Jenkins in the future and Gal Gadot after her being basically exposed these last couple of years.
So Gal Gadot, I God, she's a meme stock, dude. Like she literally went to the moon and now she's back or crypto, like crypto. She's literally crypto. She
Did
went
she? Oh,
she
okay,
went
okay.
to the top and now she's like hitting the not bottom but she's still still low compared to what she once was. Like this is what her projects she's got coming up. She's got the Cleopatra movie, which by the way is not Patty Jenkins. It's not Patty Jenkins.
Shocked.
Um, she's got Snow White. She's going to play the evil queen. Rachel Zegler is going to play
Pinocchio
Snow
vibes
White.
already.
You have the Red Notice sequel. Okay. You have a spy thriller with Jamie Dornan coming out next year, Heart of Stone. All right. So you're still in the limelight. You're 37 years old. You're still a movie star. You just might not be hitting that peak that we expected you to peak. You're not that good of an actress, but you're still a movie star. So I don't think it's similar to crypto where you're not at bottom, you're not at zero, but you're still so much lower to where you once were. Patty Jenkins, on the other hand, she's bankrupt, dude. She is at zero. Do you know what her next project is?
Nothing.
Wow, you got it right. She's not attached to anything. Nobody wants to touch her. No studio wants to touch her. It's terrible. Her downfall is literally to bankruptcy. Gal Gadot at least is still a movie star. She still is only 37. She's going to be in movies for the next 5 years, no matter what, just based off of looks, personality, whatever, charisma, whatever you want to call it. Patty Jenkins is going to have to do nothing for a long time.
It's like it's almost like, you know how like Rian Johnson went to Star Wars, he makes a spin on Star Wars. At least he went for it. You know, Wonder Woman 1984 didn't feel like it went for anything. It was just like, let's bring back Chris Pine. We're bringing in Pedro Pascal. Let's just hit on 80s nostalgia. And like how like Rian Johnson then went to Knives Out and created something special. Like I don't see that out of Patty Jenkins. Like, yes, Wonder Woman was promising. That's where you felt like the Snyderverse could be something, right? Following like Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and then we have Wonder Woman, which was a hit. But then, like, what she did afterwards, it was such a step down from what the first one created. And it felt so commercial and disgusting. And it reeked of just, I don't know, it just reeked of fake positivity.
It was fake.
It felt fake. It just, everything about it was so freaking fake.
What she needs to do is go back to her roots. This is what she's going to need to do. And yes, she directed Monster with Charlize Theron, 03. But when I say roots, I'm not talking movies. She needs to go back to television, dude. Just direct 1 or 2 episodes of a season of television. She did Arrested Development a couple episodes. She did Entourage. Her big thing was The Killing, which got her a bunch of a more on the scene
notoriety.
Notoriety. Thank you. She needs to go back to television. Get back to her roots, and then hopefully she can make another breakout like a Rian Johnson. I think it's a great analogy, great comp. But I think she is the biggest loser on this list. The biggest.
Yeah. That could be a draft. Like the biggest losers of the DC show.
Yeah, top.
And I think who's number 2 potentially? The Rock. The Rock might be number 2 for biggest losers here.
Can I read you this tweet he had yesterday?
Yeah. Is this the one where he defended himself after like there was news that like it was losing money? It was going to lose 50 to 100
million? Right. Dude, oh my God. This is like hours before the report about all this stuff that we're talking about.
About him not getting a sequel potentially.
Yeah. He goes, this is his tweet. Waited to confirm with financiers before I share this excellent hashtag Black Adam news. Our film will, all caps, profit between $52 to $72 million. Space, or enter, fact. Another enter. At almost $400 million worldwide, we are building our new franchise step by step. In parentheses,
he is not a part of this at all, dude.
Wait, listen to this. Hold on.
Emptiness. He is emptiness. He is so dumb, dude.
Listen to this. All right. Again, at almost $400 million worldwide, we are building our franchise step by step. First Captain America did $370 million. And then add a parentheses for the DC future. How crazy is it? Hours before this DC overhaul news.
This guy is so so much of an it drives me insane like how much he's a fan of himself and he thinks that he controls everything and like you know what, he's not done playing the character. He's just not getting a sequel. Where James Gunn writes in the tweet previously that there's going to be like some of the report is true. Yes, Black Adam's not getting a sequel. Dwayne Johnson will be back as Black Adam. That's going to happen. It's too juicy, but it proved what we just saw. What happened theatrically? Like the movie wasn't good. Like on his own, even with the JSA with characters we don't care about. Hawkman spinoff might be coming.
I wanted to talk about that too.
We'll see. Like I feel like if there's no Black Adam movie, I don't think
They
Hawkman should be
can't
getting a
be
movie
doing
yet.
Hawkman
You
spinoff.
can't. You can't. Like that's got to be a part of a team. That's got to be a part of a team up movie. Like it can't just be them standing on their own. And I think James Gunn knows that. And that's why he says there is some belief to this report where it's like, yes, Black Adam will not be the star of another movie because this one was, even if they profit only $50 million, you had Dwayne Johnson as the star of a superhero movie. And even if he's correct, they made $50 million, you would have said that is so low. You would have expected $100 million profit. You are the most followed actor
Desperate. It
on
was a
social
desperate
media.
tweet.
It was the most, it reeked of desperation. I felt sad for him, dude. And I was just, at the same time, I'm like, this guy's kind of a fraud. This guy will say anything to make people believe what he says. You know, he will do anything, and he knows that his followers will just say and defend him.
He's blinded by his stardom, and he thinks like he directs whatever he wants in Hollywood. Directs, like, not actually
He
directing, but
doesn't make the
directing.
call
I
regarding Black
know, but
Adam
he
anymore.
thinks
He
he
thinks he
does.
does. Like it's like he thinks he's. It's like he acts like he's Robert Downey Jr. going into Endgame, like with his next project. Like,
It's
look
like
how much I've like shouldered this, and look what like
if he,
I am calling the shots. No, James Gunn is calling the shots because he understands the character better than you do, bro. Better
it's
than
like
you.
it's like he thinks he could bully DC and Warner Brothers. Like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's like, no, 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 no. Like, you're done. And also, this tweet just happened. Deadline just came out with news saying that Patty Jenkins was offered the chance to rewrite the script for Wonder Woman 3, but she declined. Just wanted to mention that on the pod. Breaking
Good,
news.
good. Get out of here. Get
She
fresh.
declined it.
We need fresh legs on the ice, dude. Right? Dump and change. Let's go.
Do I Did you see the Gal Gadot tweet also that was yesterday before the news dropped?
Yeah, where she was like, I'm excited for this new chapter.
I've been so grateful for the opportunity to play such an incredible, iconic character, and more than anything, I'm grateful for you, all caps, the fans. Can't wait to share her next chapter with you. Oh man, just this is just hilarious. Like, honestly, hilarious. And I love how the two Red Notice people. It's like, yes, we recognize your movie stars, but you know what? You cannot go with mediocrity. You cannot. We're not going to allow it here at DC. James Gunn, no. And I don't care how big of a star you are, you're out. See you later.
Dude,
Sayonara.
he has balls, dude. He's like willing to say, like, I think he's gonna be
To
like Black
anybody.
Adam. Like he'll be like, he'll cut it with the Rock. Like, honestly, I thought it was also like a loser of this is someone who wasn't mentioned, and that is Zach Levi as Shazam.
Thought the same thing. That
He's
he's
not
out
even
too.
worth mentioning. He's not even worth mentioning in all this. They're just like, yeah, that movie's coming out, I guess. Like the first one has connections to the Snyderverse, right? It has like action figures like that were bought by Snyderverse fans that were children or like some super fans that weird us out that keep them in the box and everything, almost like 50-year-old virgin Steve Carell style. Like
Yes.
it just it's not it's like so far off the radar. It's like, yeah, this movie, it's going to make pretty much how much it costs to make, and it's got like Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu to maybe get you to the theater. Like
Lucy
Zach
Liu.
Levi's not a draw. I think James Gunn, he could direct a Shazam movie that would be awesome. Like, and I think if he had his own people instituted, I think like with like the immature slash like you can make it almost like more adult rated, like when he becomes like this older guy. I think he could actually do something special with Shazam. I just think like they just brushed to the side, like, yeah, whatever, just it's happening. He's not going to be there for long. That's
I
my
agree. I
prediction.
think he would have been a great Shazam director. That is a
Mhm.
great call.
Yeah,
But I think he needs to go too. Clean house. Trade them all away. Get rid of them. Buy them out of their contracts.
the only one that
Get
we
them out.
mentioned right now that's like going to be around is probably The Rock, because he's just going to be a villain
Jason
in
Momoa.
a maybe. Well, in Jason Momoa as a different character, though.
Wait, so what is? All right, actually, I'm gonna disagree on you on
With
this.
what?
I don't think The Rock continues. I'm gonna.
They're going to Ricky. You don't think like they institute a new DC Shazam actor, and then they go against The Rock? The Rock is a huge actor. I just don't think they're going to give Black Adam movie. It's not because The Rock isn't a huge movie star. It's because the character does not call for it. That's
But
all
then
I'm saying.
like Henry Cavill was in that post credit scene.
He,
Like,
he- yeah, irrelevant. I think they're just like pretend Black Adam didn't happen. Just pretend that didn't happen either. You could. Who
So
like
hard.
Hawk? That's why I said the Hawkman movie. Like that's kind of bold. You don't really need it. Get rid of it.
Don't need
You
it.
know, like the character was like okay. Like he's not like people were like drooling over him. I'm like, dude, he was just like a guy who got stomped on all
Dr. Fate
movie.
was sick.
Yeah, and he's
That's it.
dead. So spoiler alert. Just
We spoiled alert the biggest surprise, which is Superman being in the post-credit scene. We could spoil Dr. Fate's dead.
it's whatever. To me, it's like you can imagine, you can just act like that movie didn't happen. Who wants to see a continuation of any of those characters, especially
No.
the side characters? Start over. He looks the part. Put him as a villain in a Shazam movie to start off Shazam, a new Shazam.
And think about this: in 20 years, like I agree. I think there won't be another Black Adam movie. In 20 years, we're gonna look back and be like, oh, like Noah Centineo, he was in Black Adam once. Like,
Yeah, dude. No one gives like probably like James Gunn sees Noah Centineo and he just like
get
draws
him out
a
of my
huge
face.
X like through his name. It's like yeah, like it gives a list of characters. Like I'm okay. These are guys that are part of the new Black Adam. Are we gonna carry him over? He just puts a massive X in his name before he even knows the character he's playing. He may have never
Who's
even
that?
seen Black Adam.
Yeah, who's that? Yeah, I want him out of my face.
Yeah, Cyclone. Who played her? We have no idea. X crossed out.
But
The kid. The kid who's throwing rocks, X, gone.
But yeah, no, overall, like I think this DC overhaul, it's looking up. It can only look up from where it was. But I think from what it does mention and what it doesn't mention leaves us with more questions going forward than we already had. I think that kind of says a lot of where DC is now, even with a more stable hierarchy at the stage now.